Hello, hello, hello. I am here with Stevie B,
What's going
who
on?
is also on YouTube. So make sure to check him out. The link will be in the description. And we are here today to talk about finding cool Star Wars books, memorabilia, items uh, in stores, and seeking out, you know, uh, copies of different media in stores and looking for looking in comic shops, antique stores to try to find some cool Star Wars stuff, and how we enjoy that kind of hunt and kind of some of our coolest finds.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty excited about this topic. It's gonna be a good one because I have some pretty good, interesting stories of books and how I got my
Yeah,
collection started.
and as you can see, there's a whole ton of stuff behind Stevie there, um, for Star Wars, and
Just some of it.
I have some books as well. So yeah. Um, I'll start off by showing something that I've shown before that I found at an antique store for a couple of bucks. I'm sure you've seen these before. These cans that have Star Wars character on one side, Episode One on it. I collect soda cans, empty soda cans. So this was a really cool find for me because it combines my love of Mountain Dew and sodas with my love of Star Wars. So I found this for a couple of bucks in a cardboard box in the back of an antique store, and I was like, "That's awesome!" I knew what it was instantly, and I was like, "I've got to get that." And I'd seen them on eBay before for, decent price, but finding it for cheaper in an antique store was pretty cool.
I remember them cans. I used to buy them at the store,
Yeah,
and I kick myself now for not keeping them.
yeah. Now now that you say that you saw them at the store when they came out, did they have all the different characters mixed in one box to where you could like buy a 12 pack or something like that and there'd be different characters mixed in?
There was a few, if I remember correctly, throughout it, but there was only a couple. It's not like they had each one because then
Right.
it kept you coming back for more.
Yeah.
And even the box, the cardboard box that they were in, was pretty cool and had some different artwork on each
Yeah.
different, flavor, if you will, that you could get.
Yeah, that's awesome. And they had a couple really cool ones that were really hard to get that were gold. That were all gold. An
Yep.
all gold Yoda one, and all gold. Can't remember. There were a couple for different flavors that were just all gold cans.
Yeah, I never got my hands on any of them. None of them. Even the chip bags, like Doritos had, and
Yeah.
that was really cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. They really launched into full promotion for Episode One.
Huge.
Like, yeah, it was a big deal. It would have been cool to be around for that, but
Oh man,
I was not.
it was. It just makes me smile every time somebody brings that up because you're at that perfect age in high school. You're with your buddies, and it was everywhere. Stores, fast food chains, toy stores, even. It was
Yeah,
cool. It was a great time.
yeah, that must have been great because I'm not a huge fan of the Disney stuff, and so I would have loved to be there for those prequels if I could have been, but
Yeah, for sure.
so and it's interesting because I don't think there's been that kind of marketing push from Disney for any of their movies, even with The Force Awakens, where you saw it kind of everywhere. I don't think it was to the extent of The Phantom Menace when they
N-
were rolling stuff out for that.
No,
I don't think anything has been like that
no.
big.
If I were no nothing. I mean, excuse me. Here in my town, they had a little bit for the Force Awakens, but it was nothing like I remember with Phantom Menace. And
Yeah,
out of the prequels, that was like the biggest. I mean, it was huge after how many years we're getting another Star Wars movie. So I mean,
yeah,
it was pushed through the roof, and it was a fantastic job, and it was fun. Even when you went to the movie theater, they were handing out stuff.
yeah,
It was cool.
yeah,
So yeah, nothing's touched it. Even with Disney now having it, no promotion has ever come close to that.
yeah, yeah.
But so,
So go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, what got you into collecting them cans? Like, do you have each? Is that the only Star Wars can that you
I
have?
I have one other Star Wars can that's kind of buried under some other cans. I have them kind of stacked up. I have a Pepsi one as well.
Oh, cool.
So I don't have all of the Star Wars ones yet by a long way because there's multiple characters for multiple different flavors. There's Mountain Dew, Pepsi, Storm, Pepsi One, which was like from what I can tell, it was like a 1 calorie
Yeah.
Pepsi, and then Pepsi Diet, and all of those had Star Wars branding on them for a little while there, and so there's a ton more that I could get. I think there's like 60 to 70 different ones that you could have gotten. So collecting cans, I got into that because one time my mom's friend was over and she just randomly asked, "How many Mountain Dews flavors are there?" And so I looked it up and I saw that there was like over 300 different flavors of Mountain Dews ever created. And I was like, that's really cool. And so then I got into like searching for the different flavors, and then it turned into collecting soda cans.
Cool. That's a cool story. Talking about the Phantom Menace real quick. This is something I found at a Half Price Books a couple weeks back. It's the Phantom Menace Episode 1.
Yeah.
Dark Horse. It's in really
Very
great
nice.
shape. Yeah, I just wanted to. That was a find.
The Half Price Books is great. The first time I went to a Half Price Books, my mind was blown because I've been used to Barnes and Nobles, right? And you're paying full price for those books, and Half Price Books I was able to get like 2 times more than what I would have been able to get there. So it was just a great experience, I suppose.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. There's one about an hour and a half from where I live, and I kind of have an issue with traveling far distances. I got some health stuff going on, but when I do get to go there, I spend a lot of time in there because it's just I mean, there's even other authors that I'm into, or other I'm like into fantasy as well. So I look for a lot of the Redwall series from Brian Jakes there, and I found quite a few. But yeah, it's a great place to go.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Another thing that I have that I had here to show is a picture book that's relevant to the EU. I got this for a couple bucks. I think it was $2 at an antique store, and I've been browsing the antique store mostly for soda glass bottles and vintage soda cans through this antique store. And then I stopped and saw the Star Wars section where it was a bunch of action figures. And while I don't have many action figures, I have a couple here and up there, but I don't have many. So I was like, oh, that's cool, some action figures. I might look through here. And at the bottom of a stack of action figures that were carded was this book. And so I did a quick search and found that it was a picture book that has its own story. And it's called Han Solo's Rescue Mission. And it tells its own unique story about Han Solo rescuing some Ithorians. And it's only like, you can see how many pages there are. There's probably not even 10 pages, but it's just really cool. And I don't know how it originally came out, but on the back, it says that Galoob, the toy company, was involved in making this. You can see right there. So I was like, I wonder what the story of this was. And while I've not found out much more than that, it's a EU picture book with new expanded universe material, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's crazy how you can come across some little small, gems when you go to antique stores or used bookstores or a thrift shop just off the wall. Even garage sailing is pretty you can find a lot of stuff like that. Actually, it's a funny story, but how I got started off with my collection. I got back into reading about 2 years ago with what I had going on. I always like to read in and out, right? But I really got back into it, got back into Star Wars. The first book I got was Maul Lockdown. I love that. Nice. I remember reading that. That's one of my favorites. But I get a call one day from my mom, and she's like, hey, you're back into reading now and you like Star Wars. I'm at Goodwill right now, and they must have 30 plus books here that somebody dropped off recently their whole Star Wars collection. So it was a lot of the Bantam era. It was in
Gotcha.
great shape, hardcovers as well. She's like, tomorrow the lady's telling me that they're gonna have a sale at half price on all their books. So if it's $2.99, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll be there. So I'm hoping nobody goes there, and checks
Yeah.
out books. So I show up the next day. I grab them all. I must have got like 34 books, 35
Wow.
books. Yeah, and it costed me under $60.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was just going to the library, and doing it that way, which was cool. They were very helpful, and the turnover of books was really good. But yeah, I was just blown away. I'm like, I got the X-Wing series.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like all in pristine shape too.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cool stories I got.
That's really, really cool. Really, really cool. Yeah, I've not had very good luck with Goodwill. I've been in a couple times, never seen a Star Wars book. So that's absolutely incredible.
Really? That's where, to be honest with you, that's where I get most of my books, except like obviously the newer ones like the Essential Legends and such. But yeah, I mean, I found a Galaxy of Fear in great shape there.
Yeah.
What else did I get? I wrote it down here. I made a little list here. I got a couple times I went, they had the Force Unleashed hardcover, great shape. Grab that,
Yeah.
But yeah, I find a lot there. A lot. Even some toys. I found some plastic lightsabers that are in pretty good shape still. I mean, I know they're the kids' ones, but still it's cool.
Yeah.
Different hilts.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very cool indeed. You mentioned Galaxy of Fear. I found a couple of Galaxy of Fear books myself. I was on a road trip driving through Missouri, and my family was staying at a B&B, and we needed some milk for something that we were making for dinner. And so we were out going to a grocery store, and I noticed right beside the grocery store is this comic shop. It's, just a little comic shop that's operated by someone locally there. So I went in, and as I'm looking through the comics, it's mostly the new comics. And I don't collect the new stuff, so I wasn't too interested. But I go to the back of the store, and there's a shelf with a bunch of children's books. And there were these two Galaxy of Fear books back there on that shelf for $3 and $2, which is a steal. And these are some of the most valuable ones too, because this one has Captain Thrawn on the cover.
Look at that.
He's in the book, so it's one of the harder ones to get because Thrawn isn't it, and Thrawn's a big seller.
Oh yeah.
So the price is still on this one and everything. $2. I couldn't believe it.
Man, that's awesome.
And then this one has Vader fighting a clone of himself, which is a little weird, the story, but it's called Clones, and that one's a little hard to come by as well. Got this one for $3, so it was quite a great trip out to get milk at a grocery store. Come back with two Galaxy of Fear books.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Just some random occurrence somewhere in time. All of a sudden, boom, you're in the right spot. That's cool. Yeah. I only got one Galaxy of Fear. I'm trying to get more, but like you said, there, and it's unfortunate that a lot of them older books, A, they either didn't reprint them, and two, like people hoard them and then just jack the price up on them, and that it kind of I understand in a sense, but it also sucks too.
Yeah.
This is half price books here. This is my first and only so far, Young Jedi Knights. And it's in pretty good shape.
That's in way better shape than any of mine, because the other thing is kids reading books in the 80s and 90s aren't going to be too careful with them, with the books coming out for kids. So it's hard to find any that are like really nice.
Yeah, even my I picked up the whole Jedi Apprentice series except the second book for the special edition.
Gotcha.
I got that whole stack for $100 shipped off of eBay, and there's kids' names, back when they're in elementary school or whatever, writing their names. So it's kind of funny when you see that. It gives it a sense of history too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that was another steal that I came across. I just messaged the person. I'm like, hey, boom, take it, and they're on all really good shape too.
Nice,
really good shape.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a couple books with kids' names in the backs, which is really funny. Actually, I have a Jedi Prince book and a Jedi Quest book that it's the same person's name in it. And I thought it was funny that like those two books were like released way apart. So unless he like picked up the Jedi Quest like used when or sorry the Jedi Prince book used when he was getting the Jedi Quest, how old was he by the time he was still writing his name in Jedi Quest? Because that's a big window between those publishing years.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I mean, I do have some that have some folded pages and all that too. But I mean, what can you expect? I probably wasn't careful with books back then either.
No.
You were talking about another thing is my library here. Check this out. Hardcover.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Small Shadow Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Jedi Quest, book 1.
Oh, nice. Is that that's in hardcover?
Yep, hardcover. Sorry,
Very
I'm trying not to hit my microphone. You know, and it's still got the little library deal on there.
Yeah, because I think a lot of those young readers novels for Star Wars books, the hardcovers only went to libraries.
Yep.
Because like they would survive better. That's really cool.
$1 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Yeah. Even from the same library, I picked up some graphic novels in hardcover.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. That's awesome. I have the one on the left in a paperback, but
right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, I mean, you got to think of that too. Go to your local library because they have, well, mine does in town. They have an area in the back where they put books and they're for sale.
Yeah.
So you never know.
My whole community did a book sale for charity, and a lot of old library books went to it. I went to it really hoping to find some Star Wars stuff, and there was no Star Wars stuff in the entire. And this thing, I don't know how many thousands of books and DVDs they had. It was insane. It was a whole warehouse, and the only stuff I was able to find was some Star Trek books. So I picked those up because I like Star Trek as well. But I was like, how was there no Star Wars here? I was able to get like 8 or 9 Star Trek books for like $1 or $2 each, but no Star Wars in the entire shop.
That's crazy.
And I was just, yeah.
There's actually a pastor, in town that I'm out of his garage. He sells used books, right? Like he goes to libraries, he goes all over. That's kind of what he likes to do. So his whole garage has got shelving and tables in it full of books. And you can bring a book. You can bring a book to get a book. So he does that too, which is really cool. And a few of his customers are regulars. He has our names on a board in his basement. So if he comes across anything Star Wars, no matter if it's a kid's book or whatever, my name's on the list. So he messaged me the other day, and I forgot the titles of them, but he's got a few that I don't have. That it's like, oh yeah, I'll take them.
Awesome.
So it's pretty cool to have that too. You know.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool indeed.
Yeah.
That's a great idea too. The whole bring in a book that you've already read, get one that you haven't. That's great.
Yeah, he just wants to. He's a big promoter of kids reading, like to get kids to read as well. You know, and that's something I wish my boys would do. They did it growing up, you know, but now they're, you know, teenagers, and now they're, well, you know, some read, some don't.
Yeah.
You know?
I was always a reader. I started reading Boxcar Children when I was a little boy, which was a old, I think, 90s young readers novel series. Then I read The Hardy Boys when I got a little older.
Oh, yeah.
My grandmother bought me like all 66 for spread out over a couple Christmases. And then I got into Star Wars. I've always enjoyed reading, but, you know, sometimes it's a bit off and on depending on, you know, where you're at, I suppose. For
sure. It's a passion of mine, you know.
Yeah.
One more big find that I got this one was pretty good. I don't know if it might be neck and neck with the Goodwill one, but on the marketplace I was getting rid of a electronic gaming device, and we became kind of buddies now, and he messaged me at the time. He's like, you know, what do you want for it? And I'm like, well, I'm trying to sell it to get some money. There's a Star Wars book collection on the marketplace right now that I'm trying to wheel and deal with the guy. So the next thing I know, a couple days later, he gets a hold of me and he sends me a picture. Well, he got all the books. I mean, this guy, I think it was like $400, and he had like a lot. So I traded him. I forgot what it was now, and he brought all the books. He's like, go ahead, pick what you want. I'm like, so I probably could have taken it all, but I didn't. But I got the whole new Jedi Order. Nice. I got a bunch of encyclopedias, and some of the new Jedi Order it is all in great shape, but like the hardcovers are like pristine. One of them's got a CD in there with like bonus material or reading a DVD.
Yeah, the Unifying Force. Yep. The Unifying Force had that. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I can't even tell you. A lot.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was in a where was this? This was in a comic shop locally, and I've gone in there from time to time to pick up stuff. And in the back of the shop, they have a bunch of wooden bookshelves set up, and those aren't comics. Those are just books, paperbacks, hardcovers. And so I was looking through that back section one day, and I noticed on the countertop were the three of these together, not wrapped together or anything, but all of these were just together. And these are the Lando books, the Lando Calrissian trilogy. And I was looking at them, and I was noticing on the spine, it didn't say Del Rey. And I was really confused. I was like, is this a bootleg? What is this? And so I looked on the back, and I instantly recognized I was born in Scotland. I've lived there for a while, visited there a lot, so I instantly recognized the symbol for pounds. So this is a UK printing, because Del Rey did not print the books over in the UK. So these are the UK editions of the Lando Calrissian trilogy, not printed by Del Rey. So I thought that was really, really cool.
That's great. You don't really realize. Yeah, look at them pictures, man. They look like they're in really great shape.
They really are, yeah. Especially for just being loose on a counter in the back of a comic shop.
You don't really realize like the different. I don't know how like you said, them are UK. Like there's a lot of different ones out there, and it's cool that some people get into collecting that side of the book. I don't know how you want to say that, but they get into collecting that other off the wall stuff.
The like foreign covers and editions and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Lost my words there for a minute.
Yeah, no worries. Absolutely. Some people have some really crazy stuff. After I did a stream a little while back on the channel about different covers from different countries for different books, like Heir to the Empire. The Russian cover is the Truce at Baccarat is the cover art, with Dark Empire is the cover for Heir to the Empire in Russia. And so I've been trying to find that online to see if I can buy it anywhere. And I found one listing on eBay for $20 for the Russian Heir to the Empire print. But since the item's in Russia right now, with what's going on in the world, they're not going to allow you to get that sent to you right now. So maybe, fingers crossed, one day I will be able to, get that.
Oh, for sure you will. I mean, the stuff's out there. Stuff's out there. You just got to find it and have the money, and depending on how much they want for it, and yeah, that's really cool. And that stream was cool. I listened to it at work, and I would go and kind of check it out every once in a while on my break. I'd watch. But yeah, you're right. There was a lot of different covers.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was a good conversation.
And some of the stuff, like foreign covers, are probably harder to find in stores in America for obvious reasons. So it was really surprising when in just a local comic shop, I was like, "There's UK editions of the Lando Calrissian books," and so it was really cool. I have right here the collection that collected the 3-in-1 paperback from Del Rey, but so I'd already had that, and then I saw the 3 of those individually, and I was like, "That's just really, really cool."
Yeah, I don't have nothing to top that. That's a pretty good find there, man, for sure.
And it was the same comic shop that I found the final thing that I had here, that was one of only 1,000 copies. It's a variant cover. And so I was looking through the comic box because the guy said, I was like, I know you have Marvel Star Wars, but do you have any Dark Horse Star Wars? Because I kind of like the older stuff. And so he's like, yeah, I got a shipment in a couple months ago from a warehouse that had some overflow of the Dark Horse Star Wars. And he was like, you can check out what's in there. And I was like, how much is it? And he was like, say each one's $3. So I was like, all right. And then when I pulled this one out and asked him, is this $3? He was like, I didn't know that that was in there, but yeah, it is because I said it was. So he kept his word, but it's a copy of Invasion's Rescue, and it's a different cover than the one that they usually have. So this is one of the characters and her mother during the Yuzhan Vong War, and it's one of only 1,000 copies to have that cover. The normal cover is, I think it's the girl holding a lightsaber. But so this version of the cover where she's trying to rescue her mother is part of a Dark Horse 100 special edition. I don't know what the 100 meant because they weren't around for 100 years, obviously. But it was some celebration that they did, and they had this variant cover. So I can't even find listings of this online. So that was definitely my coolest find in a shop.
Yeah, that's man, that's cool. I'd have that framed, put up on the wall, you know.
I should. I really should. Yeah.
But that's cool. So what does that actually go for? Do you know?
I have no idea because I can't find listings of it online.
Yeah.
So I assume it would go for a bit if you know no one's selling it.
Right.
You know, there's only 999 other ones if you're to believe them.
Yeah. Or if you have it and it's in good shape, that looks like, you know, pristine.
Yeah, it's pretty nice shape. I decided to read it because I was debating, should I try to find this issue online when I read through it, or should I open this? And I decided I would open it and read it from here. But I was like trying to be so careful.
Yep. You know? Oh, for sure. Yeah. See, that's another thing. A lot of people do the digital. I like to have it. I like to touch it. I like to feel it. I like to throw it up in the air and catch it. I like to, you know, have my hands on it. Yeah. So, I mean, that makes it hard too, you know, it's because I just picked up Volume 2 Tales of the Jedi.
Very nice.
Marvel Epic Collection. Somebody twisted my arm into getting that finally. But I want to read it, but I'm a little like, I don't want to mess it up either, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I've always been with you there. I got a Kindle for my birthday a couple years ago. Well, I have utilized it, and it's nice to an extent. Nothing beats, like, flipping pages.
Yep.
You know, feeling it. You know, nothing beats that. Yeah. And at the same time, then, you are like, I don't want to ruin it. And especially with the paperbacks where it shows on the spines.
Yeah.
I developed a reading strategy early in my collecting where, like, it really hurts my fingers to do, but I maneuver my fingers in a way where it never puts creases down the spine.
Oh, cool.
Paperbacks. And so it'll cause my hand to ache, though. So, you know, is it worth it to keep the book nice to, you know, hurt my hand? But
have to wrap your hands and read.
Yeah.
Yeah, your bookshelf looks nice. Your bookshelf looks nice, that's for sure.
Thank you. So, you know, it's fun to search for books, though, in person. You know, it's exciting.
Yep.
You know, you can find a lot online, right? But, you know, and it's nice to find it online as well. But to find what you're looking for, you know, in print, in stores is, I don't think there's anything like finding, you know, some of that stuff secondhand.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually probably going to go to Goodwill today later. So
yeah, you never know. You could find something really great.
Yeah.
After this, but you know, yeah. Thanks for coming on and discussing some of these awesome finds.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been fun. We'll probably have to do this again sometime. You know, books. Yeah. Maybe, but either other collectibles, you know, too. So that'd be fun to talk about.
I'm sure you've got some really great memorabilia back there.
Oh yeah, working on it. Yeah. It takes up a lot of space though, you know, so but yeah, this was fun, man. I had a great time. For sure.
Absolutely. And to those who are watching, let us know some of your greatest finds in stores. because I'd love to hear some of your treasures that you've been lucky enough to find.
Yeah. Hidden gems.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so there's some really great stuff out there, and if you're in the right place at the right time, you can find some really great stuff. So thank you for watching, and check out Stevie B. He's awesome. His channel will be linked in the description, so make sure to go and check him out if you haven't already.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, I'll see you later.
Later.